this freedom or death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Something like this. Listen here. Oh, beautiful, far, spacious skies.
We're going to talk about America in this hour. We are going to talk about America in this hour. Two guests in this hour. On the B side of this hour, Pulitzer Prize-winning author and USC professor Viet Thanh Nguyen celebrates the 160th anniversary of The Nation magazine with his unique take on America's relationship with the rest of the world. But we commence this hour in conversation with Democratic Congressman Al Green about his latest bill to impeach Donald Trump for bypassing the American Congress and attacking Iran. So we'll talk in this hour about America. We're playing the best of Ray Charles all 3 hours of our program because June is Black Music Month. And we choose a different artist of the day and feature the best of their catalog all 3 hours of our program. And so it seems appropriate to have played that track, at least a piece of that brilliant piece of work from Ray Charles. I was somewhere many, many years ago and trying to recall who was speaking, but some amazing person was at the podium speaking. And they went into just a beautiful dialogue about this song and the way in which Ray Charles just leaned into this thing when he sang it. And they built this speech up. They built up Al Green. They finally got to their rejoinder, and they said, but here's the problem. Ray Charles couldn't see what he was singing about. Couldn't see what he was singing about. If Ray Charles could see this, and if Ray Charles could see this, and if Ray Charles could see this, and if Ray Charles could see this, it was Kingian, that black refrain that we know in the black church. Whoever that was, I may think of their name in a second, they wore that thing out. And the crowd, including me, we were on our feet. Because as amazing as Ray Charles was, he couldn't see all that we see. He felt it, of course, and I'm not diminishing Ray Charles at all. But when you see what America is doing, the way America shows up in the world, it challenges even a soulful rendition of a song like America. I digress on that. Al Green, good to have you back on the program. Congressman, how are you today, sir?
I'm better than I deserve, and it's an honor to be on with you. Thank you so much.
It's always an honor to have you on this program. Before I get to your resolution specifically, you heard my commentary just a moment ago. How are you reading the way America is showing up in the world right about now?
Well, I think under the leadership of the current president, we are presenting ourselves, quite frankly, as bullies. I think that this is a beneficial bully that we have in office. And he uses his benefits to his advantage, not necessarily to the advantage of the country. He's more concerned about winning than he is about justice. And one has to remind him that if you're going to have peace, you cannot acquire peace, per Dr. King, without justice.
Yes.
He seems to believe that if you can have other countries that are powerful take advantage of countries that are less powerful and do so such that the less powerful will have to surrender, that somehow you brought about peace because you forced a nation to surrender. There's so much that can be said. Simply put, I'll just simply say that we have an authoritarian president who believes that he can bully his way through the world using the prowess and power of the United States of America.
In a moment here, I'm going to play some sound of your address on the floor of Congress about this resolution that you brought forward. I'll play some sound when we come forward and let you explain to us what the resolution is and why you brought it forward. But very quickly, before I do that, when you were last on this program, as I recall, you were on because they had escorted you out of the House, out of the speech that Donald Trump was giving, his first speech he gave to a joint session of Congress since being reelected. What was the fallout, or what was the fallout? Is one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is the opportunity that came as a result of your having walked out. But just assess for me in retrospect right quick, walking out or being escorted out of that speech that we all saw, the whole world saw it.
Well, I'm the only person ever to be evicted from a joint session of Congress. And of course, it was because I could not tolerate hearing the president say that he had a mandate to cut, and he doesn't have a mandate to cut Medicaid. There was some $880 billion that were at that time slated to be cut from Medicaid. And as a result of my making those comments and being removed, my colleagues did decide to reprimand me by way of a censure. I said to them that I was prepared to accept whatever the punishment was. I never said that I would agree with it.
Yes.
I don't agree with what happened. I'm the only person to be ejected from the House in such a way. And I think that there's a lot of unfairness associated with it, but I'm prepared to suffer that. It is a consequence that I would proudly and gladly suffer just to let the world know where we should stand on this question of cutting health care for those who need it the most.
Well, we celebrate you. We stand with you. And I hope that you will wear that censure as a badge of honor for the rest of your career and the rest of your life. Again, I know you don't agree with it, but you did the right thing, Congressman. And a whole lot of us were proud of you that night when you stood up and had the courage, the conviction, the commitment, the character to tell Donald Trump, no, sir, you do not have a mandate to cut Medicare. Congressman Al Green out of Houston is our guest. In this half hour, we'll talk about his resolution to impeach Donald Trump. I'll let he give some sound of what he had to say on the House floor, but you're going to hear him in his own words live when we continue our conversation here on Tavis Smiley.
Yes, he did. Heavy brotherhood. From sea to shining sea. You know, I wish I had somebody to help me sing this. America, I love you, America. You see, my God, he done shed his face on thee. And you ought to love him for it, because he crowned.
From the Mert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321-321. That's EQUAL to 321-321.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without one, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust. Trustandwill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% off on your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/radio.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Freedom is an endless meeting, so let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
The other night, as I lay sleeping, oh, I dream I have you in my arms. Oh, but when I woke up this morning, I found out I was mistaken. Do you know that I hung my head and cried?
It's the best of Ray Charles, all 3 hours of our program today as we continue once again our celebration of June. As Black Music Month, we choose a different artist every day, and today we're playing the best of Ray Charles. Delighted to have on this program U.S. Congressman Al Green out of Houston. I had him on this program not long ago, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, after he was ejected from the House during that speech by Donald Trump. You all recall that, and the only person ever to be ejected from the House during a joint session of Congress. You recall the congressman who called Obama a liar in the middle of his speech. You lie, you lie. He did not get escorted from the House floor, but they did escort Al Green. I'll leave that where it is. Y'all can wrestle with that. But I celebrate his courage, his conviction, his commitment, and as I said earlier, his character. So this is sound of Al Green on the House floor talking about his resolution. Listen to the sound first, and we'll let him unpack it for us.
I believe that the President of the United States has committed an impeachable act. H-Res 57 addresses abuse of presidential powers by disregarding the separation of powers, devolving American democracy into an authoritarian government. I believe that if we do not take immediate action, this authoritarian president will not only devolve the country into authoritarianism, I believe he is a would-be dictator who would become a dictator. So I today announce that later today, I will bring these articles of impeachment to the floor, and I will call for a vote. I believe that the hour of decision is upon us, and we all have to decide. Are we going to go down and choose the path of democracy, or we allow ourselves to choose the low road of autocracy?
This is why we started with Al Green in this hour, and this is why we started with Ray Charles in this hour, singing about America. Tell me about this hour of decision for America, Congressman Green.
Well, thank you. The hour of decision is upon us because we have a president who has decided that he can remove people from this country without due process, that he would instigate an assault on the citadel of democracy, the capital of the United States of America, and then he would pardon the persons who engaged in the assault. He has gone on to disrespect the independence of the judiciary, suggesting that judges who differ with him should be impeached. And finally, of the many things that I could mention, he decided that he could go to war without conferring with the Congress. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of the Constitution gives the power to go to war to Congress. And he did not notice us. He did not get our consent. And in doing this, he has violated the Constitution's mandate to confer with us. I don't believe that one person should be allowed to take more than 300 million people into war by himself. That's what the framers sought to prohibit with Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11. And I want that enforced. So I brought the article of impeachment because he has abused his power. And in so doing, he is devolving the United States concept of democracy into an autocracy or authoritarianism, with himself as a president who is an authoritarian. He is an authoritarian president. Yeah. And I think we shouldn't overlook this. And I won't overlook it. Yeah. I'm of the opinion that if we overlook this, we will have said to him that he can do almost anything that he wants to do with impunity.
Is this for you just a matter of getting this on the record, of being at least the one person who's willing to say the quiet part out loud, or do you believe this is a sound political strategy? And I ask that because I had a guest on this program yesterday, and I've seen others already suggesting, with all due respect to Congressman Al Green, this is not the play that Democrats ought to be making right now. Going back down this impeachment lane just further outrages the MAGA base. It's not sound political strategy. To those who have that particular POV, that point of view, you say what, Congressman?
Well, without addressing directly any of my colleagues, because I respect whatever they choose to say and do, here's my position. My position is this. We have a duty, or I have a duty, knowing that we are devolving into authoritarianism, to speak up. Now, impeachment can serve multiple purposes. One is, of course, the removal of a president who has been impeached and found guilty or convicted in the Senate. But it also can become a deterrent. If a president knows that we are watching, I think it makes a difference. Impeachment is sort of a sword of Damocles. I call it a sword of democracy. And it hangs over the head of a president, but it's only there if we make the president know that we'll use it. I choose to do this. I don't know that you have to succeed the first time to have something to succeed at last. We worked for nearly 100 years to get the Affordable Care Act, or something that would cover more people in healthcare, such as what we did with what was called Obamacare. We are still working to pass the Equality Act. We passed it several times in the House, and we're going to continue. The Equality Act will become law in this country because we're going to be relentless. So I have to be relentless about impeachment, as I was the first time we impeached him. We brought impeachment 3 times, and the masses grew in the public. They were demanding it. And in Congress, the numbers grew to the extent that we could not ignore it any longer. We laid the foundation for his impeachment, and that foundation for his impeachment caused him to be impeached, and his being impeached contributed to his losing the election that he lost. I don't want to see him have 4 years. I would like to see him at the end of 2 years be impeached, and I'd like to see him, quite frankly, impeached tomorrow. But I have to start today so that we can do it at a later time. I'm just a part of the avant-garde. There will be many others who will follow.
Yep. There are any number of stories about this, of course, all over the news today. I'm just reading one particular headline. 128 Democrats helped Republicans kill a resolution to impeach Trump. The majority of House Democrats voted to table an impeachment resolution from one of their own members. Of course, that own member is our guest right now, Congressman Al Green, out of Houston. I saw how you sidestepped the question about your colleagues. I get that. I respect that. But broadly speaking, what can you say to us about what this says about the Democratic Party, that at this moment, a president, to your mind, who has violated the law, who has violated the Constitution, gets a bunch of Democrats, the majority, in fact, to table the resolution? What does that say to all of us Democrats around the country, all we Democrats listening from California to the Carolinas, about the state of the Democratic Party, that they would, in this moment, however you put it, look the other way, table the resolution? You can call it what you want to call it, but they didn't support the resolution. What's that say about the state of the Democratic Party?
Well, I think it says this. There are many ways to get to a destination. Should I choose to go from this point in Washington, D.C. to my home in Houston, Texas, I might take a plane. Someone else might take a train. Someone might take a car. We may not all get there at the same time,
right?
But we're all moving in the right direction, and we're headed to the same destination. Now, with reference to people who have decided that they would do things that I choose not to do because I chose to go forward with impeachment, I think this is a question of conscience, and if this is what their conscience dictates, I'm going to respect that. I have reason to believe that in the days, weeks, months to come, there will be a mandate from the public saying that this man must be impeached. I see it growing. It grew before. And I think people will rethink their positions. I really do.
Yeah. What's fascinating for me about this is that on the one hand, the majority of Democrats joined these Republicans to block this progressive bid, this bid by a progressive like Congressman Al Green to impeach Donald Trump. And yet Democrats at the same time are aiming to curb Trump's use of military in Iran. How do you do both of those at the same time? You don't want to hold him accountable for violating the Constitution, but you do want to curb his use of military power in Iran. Can you do that?
Well, I think it's difficult.
Yeah.
But here's what I think also. I think that it is difficult to say to the public that you believe a person should be impeached or he's doing something that's impeachable and then vote not to impeach. I think the public then has some concerns about the sincerity of saying things but not following up when you have the opportunity. I think we do have to, in the parlance of the folk in the pool halls that I used to play in, you have to walk the talk. I think so. So I try my best not to force people to do things. I don't demand that my colleagues do anything. I try to be a good example. And if you think that I'm a good example, then you can adopt what I'm doing. But if you think not, then I understand. But I just don't believe that we can assume that this president is going to do the right thing without us taking affirmative, strong, immediate action against him. After all, the briefing that we were supposed to get yesterday, he has removed from the calendar. I'm told that we might do it on Friday. I don't know that that's a sure thing. He doesn't bother to even give us information after he has committed an act of war. And it was an act of war because if someone bombs a facility in this country, it's an act of war. When the Pearl of the Pacific was bombed on December 7th, 1941, that was an act of war. Nobody had to send us a note or message or communicate saying, you have been bombed and we are now at war with you. It's de facto an act of war. And he has as much as said so when he said he was engaged in a 12-day war. But we have to take action. Whether we do it to all of us or not, 79 people did. 79 members of the Congressional Caucus voted, the Democratic Caucus voted to move forward with impeachment.
Yep. I've got 90 seconds left, tight 90 seconds. I'll give it all to you, Congressman Al Green. What have you learned about, some call you a maverick. I don't like that word maverick because I hear your point loud and clear that this for you is a matter of conscience. But what have you learned about going it alone?
Well, I learned this lesson a long time ago. First of all, I identify myself as an unbought, unbossed, unafraid, liberated Democrat. Liberated.
There you go.
And I learned many, many years ago that on some issues, dear brother, on some issues, it is better to stand alone than not stand at all. I stand.
Mic drop. Better to stand alone than to not stand at all. That's why I always enjoy my conversations with the congressman from Houston, Al Green, who, again, has been standing alone for some time now. He did earlier this year when they kicked him out of the president's speech. He did it again this week with this resolution. Again, I shouldn't say alone. There were others who stood with him. But he follows his conscience, and for that, one can only be grateful. Congressman, good to have you on. Thank you for your work and your witness, man. We'll do it again somewhere down the road, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Take care of yourself. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The 40th edition of the iconic Air Jordan shoe will release next month. Jordan Brand unveiled the new edition of Michael Jordan's signature line today. The shoe's design takes inspiration from some of the line's most popular models, including the Air Jordan 3 and Air Jordan 5. The first colorway of the Air Jordan 40 will go on sale July 12th for $200. Ice Cube was honored with his own bobblehead night at Dodger Stadium, drawing a record crowd of over 54,000 fans. Though he could not attend, Cube called it amazing and was thrilled by the Dodgers' custom drone show tribute. And Calvin Yarbrough, half of the iconic R&B duo Yarbrough and Peoples, has died at 71 due to complications from heart disease. Best known for their 1980 hit Don't Stop the Music, his wife Elisa Peoples said in a statement, quote, "He was the love of my life, my protector. Now he's my guardian angel." Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Silver Lake, we had a stall on the 101 northbound at Silver Lake Boulevard. It has cleared. Traffic still slow, though, back from 1st Street. Mid-City LA, fuel spill still has the right lane and off-ramp closed. 10 eastbound at Robertson Boulevard. Traffic is jammed from Bundy Drive. And in Griffith Park, I-5 southbound between Colorado and Los Feliz, the work zone there has the right lane shut down until 3 o'clock.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man. The NBA draft is tonight. The Dallas Mavericks have the #1 pick, and they intend to use it to select Duke forward Cooper Flagg. Barring a last-minute trade today, the Lakers will be one of 9 teams without a first-round pick. They won't have a pick tonight until number 55 in the second round. The Clippers have the last pick in the first round at number 30. Live coverage of the draft begins at 5 p.m. on ABC and ESPN. The Angels beat Boston 3-2 in 10 innings. Rookie second baseman Christian Moore hit a game-tying homer in the 8th and a 2-run homer in the 10th to win it. The Dodgers held on for a 9-7 win at Colorado. Shohei Ohtani hit his 27th home run this season, a 2-run shot in the 6th inning. The LA Sparks continue to struggle. They lost their 4th straight game, a 97-86 loss to the Chicago Sky. The Sparks are 4-11 in the WNBA. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader. If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580. That's right. Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Got your black.
Follow the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hi, I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Tavis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and a theologian with a firm grasp of our body politic given almost 2 decades in Congress, my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation, both personal and collectively, as I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon right after Tavis Smiley for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. Call 800-798-3399. That's 800-798-3399. 800-798-3399.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
Well, I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, yeah. Say, I got a woman way over town, good to me. Oh, yeah. She give me money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a kind of friend indeed. I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, yeah.
We have been honored to play some of the best of Ray Charles all 3 hours of our program today. In case you just tuned in, Ray has been our artist of the day. We choose a different artist every day during the month of June. Why? Glad you asked. Because June is Black Music Month, and so weaving in and out of these amazing conversations, we feature the best of a particular artist, black artist, every day during the month of June, and that artist today has been Ray Charles. And what a day it has been. Some amazing conversations today, starting with Rashad Robinson and Christina Greer in that first hour, Corey Bush in the second hour. I just had a great conversation with Al Green, Congressman of Houston, about his impeachment bill measure to get Donald Trump on the hot seat, given his violating of the Constitution, to drop these bunker-busting bombs on Iran. What a great show already today. We're closing on a high note. I should mention that tomorrow on this program, more great guests, including U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock out of Georgia. Raphael Warnock, one of our many great guests on this program tomorrow. Who the music guest is, the music artist in residence, I don't know yet, but we'll choose another great artist and play the best of their catalog tomorrow on our program when we're joined by Raphael Warnock and others on the Thursday program. But I am honored to close this program today, this great show, with Viet Thanh Nguyen, a Vietnam War refugee, Pulitzer Prize-winning professor at USC, celebrating now the 160th anniversary of The Nation magazine with his unique take on America's relationship with the rest of the world. You recall about, 40 minutes ago, we started this hour playing Ray Charles's version of America and went right into Al Green talking about the way the way America is showing up in the world right about now. And so we close this hour continuing that conversation essentially about America in this present moment. I'm honored to welcome Viet Thanh Nguyen back to this program. How are you, my friend? Good to have you back. It's been a long time since I heard your voice.
Hi, Tavis. It's great to talk to you again. Thanks for having me.
Man, my honor to have you on this program. Let me just start with this. The Nation is on my must read list. I say to this audience all the time that I'm reading. I try to share with them as often as I can the stuff that I am reading. But everybody knows I read The Nation magazine, and many of their contributors are often guests on this program. My dear friend Katrina Vanden Heuvel, my friend John Nichols, my friend Ellie Mustall. So many of their great contributors are, again, regular contributors to this particular program. Before I get into your piece, what say you in a moment like this? We saw a big progressive win last night in New York. We've been talking about that today. Zoran Mondani won that Democratic primary, Democratic Socialist, 33 years of age. So progressives are popping out today. They sticking their chest out today. Progressives are flexing today. But this magazine has been around for 160 years. What say you about that for starters, Viet Thanh Nguyen?
Oh, I think it's an amazing moment. I mean, I'm obviously absolutely thrilled about Zoran Mamdani's win in New York City's mayoral primary. And, it demonstrates that there is a strong progressive spirit that still exists in this country, and a progressive spirit that can't be contained or repressed by the Democratic Party. The Nation certainly embodies that as well. It shows that there's been a long history of progressive movements in this country, dating certainly all the way back to at least the mid-19th century. And, the Nation and people like Mamdani demonstrate that what we need and what we've always been thrilled by is coalitional, intersectional struggle. People with different backgrounds, different commitments to social justice, recognizing that we need to be in solidarity with each other in order to change this country.
We played a clip of Mondani early in this conversation, Viet Thanh Nguyen, early in this hour, I should say, early in this show. I've been doing conversations, hours. Early in the show today, I played a couple of clips of him last night at his victory party, and he suggested that his victory was a model for the Democratic Party. We've been unpacking that for the last couple of hours. I won't make you do that. But the question I do have for you, given what you've just said, what is the message to the Democratic Party? It may or may not be a model because New York is different from the rest of the country, of course. But what is the message to the Democratic Party born of his primary win last night?
We are a very widely diverse coalition, people from all kinds of different backgrounds, all across the left to liberal, progressive ideological spectrum. But I think, even with all these differences, there are some commonalities that Mamdani's win points out. I think there has to be an emphasis on economic populism, has to be an emphasis on redistribution, economic redistribution, has to be an emphasis on targeting and demonstrating that there are certain kinds of people that have been running counter to the interests of most of the people in the Democratic Party, represented by billionaires and the very elite class that caters to them. Mamdani shows that there's a youthful energy out there. There's a population of people who want change, population of people who want an aggressive position against Republican attacks, and not just the Republican attacks in terms of Republicans against Democrats, but the Republican attacks against immigrants, against the poor, against the working class. And finally, Mamdani demonstrates that you can stand up for Gaza, you can stand up for Palestine, and you can still win. And that is something that liberals and Democrats, that's a lesson that they simply have not learned, and I think it's damaged them very badly.
Yeah, I was laughing to myself last night about the fact this guy's just 33 years of age. I mean, they crucified Jesus at 33, and Mondani rose up last night at the age of 33. What's the message to young people in this country?
I think the message is extraordinary. I've been asked several times in the past few months what gives me hope, and my hope is found in the young people. We go back to the spring 2024 encampments when universities had seen so many demonstrations by young people who were acting out of their convictions that what they were witnessing was an ethnic cleansing, mass murder at the very least, and probably very much, in my opinion, a genocide. And these young people stood up for what they believed in. Many of them paid a very, very heavy price. And they were doing something that even the elders of their universities, many of the professors, certainly almost all the university leaders, were not willing to do. And so Mamdani really embodies that kind of spirit of youthful conviction. And obviously for some people, 33 is probably a very old age. If you're 18, 33 is like ancient. But for you and for me, 33 is incredibly young. He was born about the time I graduated from college, for example. And so I think that should be very, very inspiring. I mean, I hesitate to draw historical parallels, but we've had certain moments in the past with young people, relatively young people, from John F. Kennedy to Barack Obama, electrifying the Democratic Party. Here we have another moment where that is happening. And I'm worried, of course, that the establishment of the Democratic Party will not recognize this, but I think there's enough momentum on Mamdani's side that they're going to be forced to reconcile with what he represents.
We shall see. That is the question. You put your finger on it, as you always do, Viet Thanh Nguyen. And as you know, it's just a primary. You and I both said that it's going to be a dogfight between now and November. Again, in case you've just tuned in, we've been talking about that for the better part of our 3-hour program today, at least a good slice of it. So Andrew Cuomo has yet to decide whether he stays in as an independent. We know that he certainly has the money to stay in. We know that Mayor Eric Adams, who was, in fact, a Democrat, is running as an independent. So he's still in the race, trying to win re-election. And as I, again, established earlier in today's program, the corporate elites are terrified right now of Mamdani. They may circle back around and support Eric Adams as a safer choice. So he's a long way, Mamdani is, from the finish line, a long way from the victory line, ultimately. And so we will see how Democrats, how the establishment deals with his victory last night in the primary in the days, weeks, and months ahead between now and November. When we come forward, I want to spend the rest of my time talking to this Pulitzer Prize-winning brilliant writer, Viet Thanh Nguyen, a USC professor, about a pretty powerful piece that he wrote in The Nation magazine. Let me give the title right quick. It's called Greater America Has Been Exporting Disunion for Decades. Greater America has been exporting disunion for decades. There's your title. I'll let him unpack it when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death.
The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Pulitzer Prize-winning USC professor Viet Thanh Nguyen. All right, Viet Thanh, take me inside this piece that you've written for The Nation magazine, celebrating their 160th anniversary now. Greater America has been exporting disunion for decades. It's all yours, sir.
Sure. I've had the chance to visit El Salvador for the first time at the beginning of February. This was a very important trip for me because I'd never been further south of Mexico. And of course, I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm an American. Like many people, I routinely call our country America. And that, of course, is a term that people south of the United States border oftentimes find pretty problematic because they're also American countries, but they've been completely overshadowed by our United States of America. And I thought I would write about what I would call Greater America, which is this idea that, we have a United States of America that's officially the name of our country, and yet we have Donald Trump's vision of our country, which is to make America great again. And I think these are two competing visions of the United States. The United States of America is supposed to be the country that lives up to its ideals about democracy, liberty, equality, and so on. And Make America Great Again is about going back to this other version of the country, which has been built on genocide, enslavement, colonization, and perpetual war. So when I hear Great America, I think of all of these histories of violence in our country that have made the democracy, the liberty, and the equality possible. And when I went in February, Donald Trump was making noise about going into Panama, going into Canada, Greenland, annexing these places. That kind of rhetoric is not just about Great America, but about Greater America, expanding America. And we've had a long history in the United States of meddling in other American countries, including El Salvador. So that's why I went. And coincidentally, I arrived on the same day that Marco Rubio was in town in San Salvador, and he was there to sign the prison deportation agreement with President Bukele of El Salvador, the consequences of which we're still dealing with. And I was there to investigate the history of civil war and of massacre in El Salvador, a history that the United States has had an important hand in participating in and in encouraging. And just to sum things up, we're looking right now almost daily at images of ICE and the FBI, of militarized police, of men and women in masks, basically terrorizing people, arresting immigrants, mostly because they happen to be brown or black or Asian. And there are some people who are arguing that this is legal. These are so-called illegal immigrants, and we should enforce the law because people are illegally crossing our borders. And this article points out that, in fact, one of the major reasons why we have people crossing our borders is because we are a country that has never respected the borders of other countries. We routinely violate the sovereignty of other countries, whether it's bombing Iran, for example, just recently, or whether it's going into places like El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and forcing these countries to do what we want to do, unsettling them, and producing the conditions for migrants and refugees to come to the United States.
There are a lot of other countries we could add to that list, right? Including Haiti, and on and on and on and on. The piece is called Greater America Has Been Exporting Disunion for Decades. I thank Viet Thanh Nguyen for giving us that overview. When we come forward in our remaining moments with him, since I read the piece, I've got a few questions for him. You're listening to the Pulitzer Prize-winning Viet Thanh Nguyen right now on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
BET and PBS, The Tom Joyner Morning Show, and NPR, the cover of Jet and the cover of Time. #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, 20 honorary doctorate degrees, a dozen NAACP Image Awards, a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. From talk shows to talk radio, nobody's ever done it better. You like that? This is Tavis Smiley. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
It's me, Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. I see those dry elbows, baby. But don't worry, get moisturized right in the shower. So hydrated you can skip the lotion after.
Don't wanna see it dry no more. Skin so moisturized with body wash.
Look at you now, no more dry skin. Your skin gets the moisture it craves with
Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Viet Thanh Nguyen with an amazing piece for The Nation magazine that I encourage you to read. It's called Greater America Has Been Exporting Disunion for Decades. We are celebrating the 160th anniversary of The Nation magazine. A couple of things came to mind, Viet Thanh Nguyen, when you were talking moments ago. One, this notion of competing visions of America. I recall traveling the world when Baby Bush was president after 9/11, and I found myself in a variety of conversations, which won't surprise you, about this place that I lived in called America. I wonder whether or not you think in El Salvador, and for that matter beyond, in this moment of Trump 2.0, that the world does understand that there is still inside this country a competing vision of America.
Well, I think the rest of the world is deeply aware of the competing visions of the United States. It's Americans, U.S. citizens, who are subjected to this really deeply held mythology of America, this idea of our country as being the greatest country on earth, which, discourages Americans from reconciling or even recognizing that fundamental contradiction that I pointed out earlier, that all the things that we think of as the beautiful parts of this country, beautiful parts from which I've benefited and which I enjoy, the beautiful parts of this country have been made possible by the brutal parts of this country. And these two things, the beauty and the brutality, cannot be separated from each other. Now, if you're outside of the United States, I think the seduction of American mythology is obviously very powerful. But the reality is that if you've been bombed by the United States, if you've had your country, its government toppled by the United States, then I think you're much more sensitive to the complex realities of what this country is. But it's very hard to persuade Americans of that.
Yep. My sense is that that our relationship with the world is barreling into uncharted territory right about now. Would you agree or disagree?
Yes, I think it is, because we are in a situation that is not exactly new, because Donald Trump's vision of a great or greater America harkens back to the early 19th century in the United States, which is an era in which basically white supremacists ruled. White supremacists were basically equal to the idea of the nation itself. And so the United States could expand ruthlessly and without regard to law. And since that time period, the beautiful parts of the country have tried to work in order to rein in some of those expansive tendencies. And now what we see is the return of this idea that the United States can do whatever it wishes to do, a return to this idea that white supremacy and white nationalism can be expressed nakedly, so that what we're seeing right now is an ethnic cleansing, or at least an attempted ethnic cleansing of the United States, of all of its various peoples of color. So again, these things have happened before in the past, but they've returned with great force at the moment, and they returned at a time when the United States is a nuclear armed power. And the United States is in a fragile and vulnerable position. That might be hard to recognize because we're obviously an extremely powerful country, but we're also fragile and vulnerable because we are trying to hang on to global domination, even as we are, as a country, domestically suffering from vast inequality and also obviously in lots of internal political battles and contradictions.
His name is Viet Thanh Nguyen, Pulitzer Prize-winning writer, professor at USC, and author of the piece in The Nation right now called Greater America Has Been Exporting Disunion for Decades. It is a feature piece as we celebrate, again, the 160th birthday of The Nation magazine. Viet Thanh Nguyen, always delighted, sir, to be in conversation with you. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you for your time. All the best to you.
You too, Tavis. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, my friend. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow to do it all over again. Lord willing, until tomorrow, thanks for listening to Tavis Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.